Hi guys, today we are going to tear into the rear end on this 2005 GMC Sierra 1500. It is a 5.3 liter four-wheel drive Z71 package, has 240,000 miles on it. It is a one-owner vehicle. Everything's been serviced and maintained on this vehicle its entire life, fluids changed, the whole 9 yards. This is probably the fourth rear end in this truck. So if you know anything about what that means, it means it's been overloaded and over towing its entire life. So this rear end is probably blown too. Probably just going to replace it, but we're going to look at it first, figure out what's wrong with it. Chances are it's nothing we're fixing. So we'll figure it out. We'll see you on the other side. Facilitate this teardown, we have set aside some tools. We got our creeper. We got some catch pan and some cardboard to catch any splash. Tool wise, I think all we're gonna need is maybe some pliers. Got my gasket scraper to clean it up once we got it off. A little hammer in case something's stuck. Flashlight. Let's see what we're doing. 13mm 1/2-inch wrench. I believe will take all the bolts out of the cover. Again, 13mm 1/2-inch, whichever. I believe they both work pretty much on this particular unit on the impact gun, because I'm not turning all those bolts out by hand. There is a plug in this cover. I'm not taking it out because by the time I take the plug out, I might as well take the cover off because it does the same thing. This is what we're looking for. Something back here is making noise. The locker's not working right. It's staying locked when it shouldn't. So whatever our problem is underneath this cover. All you gotta do to take this cover off is to take these bolts out. This is a 10-bolt rear end. Conveniently enough, there's 10 bolts in it. If you got different rear ends, different makes, models, same idea. Take the cover off. Can't tell you what tools to use. I've done this on this truck probably 4 times. So, pull the bolts out. Try not to drop them in the oil. It's a pain. Take every single bolt out except for this one and this one. Approximately the second highest one on either side. Loosen those up, leave them in. And that way when you go to split the gasket open, the pan stay, or the cover stays there, oil goes in the pan, no mess. That's the trick. Nobody wants to watch me do this, so we will cut ahead. These last two are loose, but intact. This is our bracketry that was in the way for the brake line. E-brake cable, just shove that out of the way. Generally, these bolts come out pretty well. Driver, whatever on the side. It's all just a little twist. Here comes our oil. Now, come on. There she goes. There she goes. All right. Loosey-goosey everywhere. Loosey-goosey. So, it's been sitting here a minute. It's loose, pretty well drained. We're going to take our last 2 bolts out of our cover. Like I said before, leave them in there just a little bit. Pull your cover down and set it aside. All right, here we are. This is a Chevrolet GMC 10-bolt rear end with a G80 option factory automatic locker. This rear end is making some noise and it is staying locked when it shouldn't. We drain the fluid. If you see in here, there's a magnificent sparkle to this fluid. Very, very metallic. This fluid was installed at approximately place this rear end. shiny. This is the magnet. Not a horrible thing, but there are, if you can see, those chunks of metal on the magnet. Large chunks of metal. At 190,000 miles, 40,000 miles now. These gear mating surfaces look fairly clean and intact. No chowder marks that jump right out at me. The pattern on this gear looks a little long, I think. I don't know, I'm not an expert, but I think that contact patch should be more centralized and not swept over the whole gear. So we have blocked the front tires of the vehicle, put it in neutral, and elevated one tire on the back. What this allows us to do is kind of play with this rear end a little bit, see what it's actually doing, kind of look at the way our gears are working together, spin it around 360 degrees, and look at a couple of things. The gear faces the whole way, what kind of movement is going on in between these gears. Just trying to get a feel for the condition and the wear. For the most part, we want most of this stuff to be, you know, real tight, not jump around. You hear some clunk in there, that's kind of interesting. We'll figure out where that's from. You don't want any damage to gear faces. That's really bad when gear faces are chewed up. It usually means that they don't have a lot of life left in them. Eventually that chewing up is going to add metal to the oil. It's going to add heat and friction, and it's just going to be a bad situation to be in. So, spinning this around, the only thing I notice is that there's a lot of metal in the oil. The more I spin it, the more I look, the more metal I see. That metal's worn off of something for some reason. There's plenty of oil in here. There's no water in here, which is good because this has towed a lot of boats and jet skis and that kind of thing. It's definitely been submerged underwater several times. So the seals are good, the vent tube's properly routed, no water. But something else is going on. Right there's a big chunk out of a gear. Couple big chunks. Alright, we have carnage. Let me reset and I'll show you that. Alright. We are looking at a spider gear inside one of my pickup truck's rear ends. I don't know where my finger is. There it is. This crown of that gear, I won't focus my finger in there, stupid thing, is broken off. It should look like the gear directly adjacent to it. Good. Chowder. Next one, chowder. Unfortunately, it's running away from us, but you can see the next one is good. Now, why does that happen? Well, nobody knows. The only thing I can tell you is that it's not good. That will eventually cause this rear end to fail. Wear out, excessive heat, vibration, all kinds of stuff. Keep dumping metal in the oil. You can change the oil 100 times. It'll keep getting metal in it. Oil with metal in it's abrasive. Abrasive oil chews everything up. It's probably what wrecked these gear meshes and stretched them way out like that. And overall, this rear end is shot. Needs a complete rebuild, tear down, cleaned up. There's probably not much left usable in it. It's probably going to be me replacing the rear end. Well, the next video of this truck at least. Or we could do burnouts until the rear end blows up. Well, now that we know this rear end is no good, the other thing we can take note of is that this little gear interfaces with that large gear. And if you look at the wear on that, I actually got it just right a second ago, and it skipped. And that skipping and cogging like that is probably what's helping out our little, because that is the mechanism that makes our lock and unlock work. So if that's skipping around that much, and actually you can see the whole of the carrier, actually the differential gears inside the carrier, kind of working themselves out there in a way that is abnormal at best. So we have some definite large problems with this rear end. So, why did the rear end in this truck fail? Combination of things. It was used. Where did it come from? How many miles are on it? How was the truck before treated that we got this rear end out of? Yeah, truck could have had a work box on it, fully loaded, towing a trailer, heavy traffic, a lot of stop and go, a lot of wear. It could have been somebody who bought the truck, towing a big boat, something like that. It's a lot of wear. It could just be the fact that it came out of a truck with 300,000 miles on it. I put it in a truck with 190,000 miles on it. Now it's at the end of its service life. But ultimately, too much weight in the bed, too much weight towing, puts too much stress on the gears and bearings. These aren't real strong rear ends. They're prone to failure. Anybody will tell you that. Drag racing guys, truck guys, Jeep guys. Chevy 10 bolt, it's great. You get it in an S10, a Camaro, half-ton Chevy. You think you can tow anything, you can't. It's an S10 Camaro rear end. They put them in passenger cars. They put them in half-ton trucks. Tow your boat to the lake, as long as it's not too big of a boat. So, there we have it. We looked inside our rear end. We determined that the oil was full of metal. The gear faces were extremely worn. There was chunks missing out of a couple things, a lot of play, and just generally not good. What we're going to do is we're going to button it up, throw some oil in it. We're going to keep driving it because it'll keep driving. One day it will blow up. Not tomorrow, probably. In the meantime, we're going to look up, we're going to find a new rear end. We're going to go buy it. We'll make a video showing you what you should look for when you buy a new rear end. Because I bought this one 50,000 miles ago, 50,000 miles, pretty good. Maybe we bought a bad one, maybe a good one. Probably my fault. Whatever. 50,000 miles, a couple $100. I'll deal with it. I haven't had to do anything else with the truck in the meantime. So, we're looking for a new rear end. Like, subscribe, share this with your friends. And next time we will show you how to fix something else. Or we'll show you why it's broken.